Hello guys, my name is Desmond. A very warm welcome to my lesson for today, where we will be looking at your mathematics. So ladies and gentlemen, as always, please do allow me to say it is very much important that I say it is very, very much important because, honorable members, what I'm about to say, it's massively massively important, ladies and gentlemen, that I say a day without learning something new, it's a day wasted. By so saying, please, Bantu Bakiti, please, 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 please do make sure that by the end of each and every lesson that I conduct, you learn something new. Very, very much important, ladies and gentlemen, over there. So, very quickly, this is what we are going to be doing in today's lesson. So, you guys wrote a test on Saturday, and one of your questions was question number 6. So, what we will be doing in today's lesson is just to do a correction. So, what I'm having there is what has been posted in the group. So, this is what I'm going to do in today's lesson. Very quickly, take you through that given statement, a quick interpretation of that given diagram, and then from there, we will start answering the questions. So very quickly, I will just read there. So this is what the information says. A circle centered at N, having the coordinates 3 and 2. Most importantly, the moment examiner says a circle centered at N, so that means you already imagine a circle having a center at that point being N. So that means from there, you have a circle around that center being N. So now the statement continues. Let's see. A circle centered at N touches the x-axis at point L. So that means that point there being L, that's where that circle touches the x-axis. So already, Bantu Bagiti, already we know that from that point there all the way up to there, it is our radius, because from the center to where the circle touches the x-axis, that means that distance is actually the radius of that circle. So this is you in exam trying to visualize what is going on over there. Okay, so let's continue. The line PQ, where is, oh, there is P. PQ, where is Q? Q is up there and I haven't written that Q. So let me quickly add that Q, which is, say, the line PQ is defined by the equation y is equals to, maybe let me write it there, y is equals to 4 over 3x plus 4 over 3. So they are saying the line PQ from there, straight line up to Q there, that line is defined by that equation. So we already know that this is the general equation of a straight line, meaning PQ, it's a straight line, even though it is not drawn, but it is an imaginary straight line. Just like that circle, it is not drawn, but you know that it is there. So this is that line of Q. So let's see. They're saying that PQ, which is a line defined by that, is a tangent to the same circle at point A. So can you guys see? Now I need to update that line which was randomly drawn. And now match it to that statement where they say that straight line PQ, it is actually tangent to that same circle at point A. So as a mathematician, you need to think beyond that statement. So that means Bantu Bagiti from point N all the way up to that point A, it is that same radius. So if you already know what is the distance from there to there, of which we can get that distance because it is that one there. So that means that a y value of n is actually that. And then the x value, it is actually that. That means if we want to know from there to there, we get it from there. If maybe your r is that 2, so that means from there to there, it is also 2. Meaning from there to there, also to that point being B, this is A, it is also 2. Then you know as a mathematician that from A to B is your diameter, which is D, which is what is it, 2 plus that 2, which is equals to 4. Before you start looking at the questions, this is how you need to quickly interpret what has been given to you on that statement. So we are now very quickly about to answer those exam questions. But before I do that, anyone who's got a question before we start answering the questions, I'm not really expecting questions from those who have been attending my lessons since beginning of this year, because we have done an introduction on this chapter and we have done a lot of questions before you guys could write your test. So anyone who's got a question, or is everything clear on your side? Are you guys ready to now start answering the questions? Remember, we are now doing corrections, so just make sure that you've got your answer sheet. Where you get it right, you comment, not comment, but you make a tick, and then where you got it wrong, a very nice 0. In the end, you will tell me how much you got out of 24. So this is you sending me an inbox where you submitted your test saying I got 3 out of 24. So let's see. Anyone who's got a question, or are we now ready to start answering the questions? No questions, nay. So, I will need someone to respond. I'm not sure if you guys got all that I've said. I will need someone to respond. No question from. Okay, let's see. Bosisiwe, did you hear all that I've said? And you two have got no question.
Yes, I hear you, and no questions so far.
Okay, 100%. So with you responding, it is an indication that you can still be able to see there and clearly hear me when I speak. I had someone say, Nandi, is a question coming through?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Was this one of the tests I just did when I couldn't write?
Yes, this is one of the tests. It's one of the questions in the test that you wrote on Saturday.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
But remember, in case if you were not able to write the test, just remain until end of the lesson, just so that you see how we answer these type of questions. And most importantly, in case if you missed introduction and all other lessons related to this, they are recorded. You just go to home page under 2023 mathematics. You will find links where you can click to catch up. Nandi, remember to mute your mic, honorable member. So the first question being 6.1, it says, why is NL? Why?
Sir, I'm unable to see your board. I can't see clearly.
Perpendicular to OL.
go tseba hore ka hore like gale ke attenda di-class tsa gago, but I missed the class yesterday. Should I remain in class or?
Yes, remain honorable member. Remain. So it's more like, in short, attend every lesson that I do, whether you wrote a test or not. Remain honorable member. So the Chumis, are you
Okay,
still not
thank
able
you.
to see? But Kolofelo, can you see my screen?
Yes, it's clear on my side, sir.
Okay. Chumi the Chumis, remember to
It's a
leave
little...
and then rejoin.
Okay,
Remember
sir.
to leave and rejoin. Okay, so why is NL perpendicular to OL? So something that you need to remember, Bantu Bakiti, is that the x-axis is a horizontal straight line. And with you having a circle, which is tangent to that point, and you still have a center having that NL. I'm just giving you some hints there before we start answering that question. Remember, a circle centered at N touches the x-axis at point L. So automatically it makes this a tangent to the circle. Maybe let me add on to that. So we have this line which is tangent to that circle at that point A. For that reason, it already makes AN perpendicular to that line. So that means if you are having a line which is tangent to the circle, and then you now have a radius from the center to that same point, automatically you have those lines being perpendicular to each other. That is why you can say the radius, obviously the radius of NL is the radius of that circle, remember. It's perpendicular to the tangent. What is the tangent? OL, being the x-axis at this point of contact. Point of contact. So that's how you explain why that line is perpendicular to that line. I'm not sure if you guys understand what I've just explained, but remember, without you having a good understanding of all of this, you might not understand if you refer to that, because there you are not able to see the circle. It is there, but it is not drawn. That's why I had to draw it there and quickly explain. So that means if we had a radius doing that, this is the radius from the center to that point. Let's call this point D for Desmond. So what I'm saying is, the moment you start having a straight line touching that point D, automatically the radius and that line at that point forms a 90-degree angle. Does it make sense, guys? What I'm actually explaining there? Does it make sense?
Yes, sir, it does.
It does.
So that means in your statement or in your response to this question, for you to mention that the radius being perpendicular to the tangent. If you are having this in your explanation referring to what I'm explaining, you will definitely get a mark. It just has to make sense, but revolving around those points. So that's how you give yourself 1 mark there. But if you say, we wake up in the morning and sleep at night, I'm telling you, Bantu Bakiti, that has got nothing to do with that question. And that's why you need to give yourself a very nice wrong. So very quickly, let's now move on to the next question and see if we can also score some marks on that question. So let's see. 6.2 says determine the coordinates of L. Yes, the coordinates of L. Most importantly, remember, guys, under analytical geometry, which is a game of 2 things, if you are allocated 1 or 2 or 3 marks, just know you don't need to think deep. These marks are only allocated for you to write the correct answer. Starting from 4 to 5 or 6, this is where you need to think and possibly have a lengthy calculation. So anything 1, 2, 3, not complicated. Let's see. Determine the coordinates of L. Remember, what does it mean when they say the coordinates? Coordinates are represented in this format. So that means before you can think of the coordinates of L, you should be having that, because that's how you represent the coordinates. Okay, where is point L? Point L is on the x-axis. We do know very well that if a point is on the x-axis or the y-axis, automatically we know something, it is 0 there. What is 0? If it's on the x-axis, we know that its y value, it is that 0 there. What we might not know, it is the x value at that point. But luckily, we are given the coordinates of n. And this line, it's a vertical straight line. How do I know it's a vertical straight line? Because on 6.1, examiner tried to give us a hint in the form of a question where they are saying we are having a 90-degree angle there, which is an indication that this is a straight vertical line. Busisos, Buddha. Why am I interested in knowing whether this line is a vertical line? It's because if you have, let's say, that A and B, and you are having that, this is the y and x-axis. If you have this line from there being skewed, can you see, honorable member, if you are given the coordinates of n being 3 and 2, you cannot say point L. It is therefore 0 and 3. Because 3, you only have it when you are having a straight vertical line forming a 90-degree angle. So that means this point, it won't be that same x value there because it is at an angle. So that is why it is very much important for you to understand if this line is a vertical line. Another way in which examiner can make you aware, they are going to say NL is parallel to the y-axis. That's how you know it makes that. And then that means automatically the x value for that, it is that 3. So I took long to explain that, but for you, you are only given a time to just say L, boom, 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 boom. I'm not sure if it makes sense, honorable member. With you doing that, they give you 1 mark. Does it make sense?
Yes, sir.
100%. It was also an easy question. I'm suspecting you guys got 100% for this question. Let's see. Determine the equation of the circle-centered, the circle with center N in the form x minus a squared plus y minus b and that. I'm telling you guys, I'm sure I'm not saying this for the first time. At all the times when examiner says determine the equation of whatever function, they are simply saying if it's a straight line, represent it with a y and x, then you can have whatever numbers. If it's a parabola, find other values. Let's say ax squared plus bx plus c. This one is y, what is it? Mx plus c. Hyperbola y, it's equals to a over that, that, and that. Exponential, let's say that, and that. So this is what I'm saying, Colofelo Philadelphia. Philadelphia. Yes. When examiner says determine an equation, they are simply saying if that equation is for a straight line, they are saying find m, find c, and write that equation. We just want to see x and y. If it's for a parabola, find a, find b, find c. We just want to see y and x. If it's that, find that, find that, find that. Find that, find that, find that. We just want to see x and y. That's what they mean when they say determine an equation. Meaning, it remains your responsibility to know what is m, is the gradient. Does it have a formula? Yes. Then you calculate. How do we find that? We know you need a point. The a value, you need to know how to find those. A, P, and Q, A, B, and Q, same. Is it a question coming through?
Sir, it's a bit blurry.
Yeah, I can't see. It's blurry.
Honorable members are not able to see. Okay, let me leave and I will rejoin. Just make sure not to make noise while I'm out. Let's see. Okay, how about now? Is it clear? Can you hear me?
Yes, it's clear and I can hear you.
Okay.
Yes,
Thanks for that, Hami. So this is what you need to know, guys. You need to know very well that your A and B are your center values or are your center coordinates. So that means the center gives you the A and the B value. A being the x, you can see it's going to be worked out with x, and then b is your y. So that means this is what you need to now determine. So that means you need to find r so that you can find a, b, and r and represent your equation having only x and y. So let's see. That means we're having x minus 3 squared plus y minus, what is b? It's going to be 2 squared, which is equals to r squared. Then we need a point that we can use to substitute there and there so that we can find the r. Then we are done. But now the question is, let's see, on our circle, just says we don't have the a value. We don't have the b value. Sizoyenza kanjani bantu bakithi? How are we going to get another value which lies on the circle to substitute there and find r? Anyone with a suggestion?
Sir, I think we can use L.
100%. That is why you're going to say at L, where we are having that and that. Why are we using L? It's because that point L, that's where our circle actually pass through. Let me do that imaginary thing there, and then let me also do that imaginary straight line there. Can you see? Then we're going to say x is 3 minus 3 squared plus, what are we having there? Is it 0 minus 2? Yes, squared is equals to r squared. So I think already this is 0, and that is 4. So it's more like r squared is equals to 4. So that is why you can therefore say you are actually having x minus that into y minus that. It's equals to. Remember, it is not r that you were looking for, but r squared, which is equals to 4. So that is why you're going to equate it to 4. Let's not forget that squared there. So I'm not sure if you guys understand how you get yourself 3 marks, because I'm telling you, with you, where am I going to give you some marks? I think with you substituting correctly there using that point, I'm going to give you a mark there. With you calculating that, I'm going to give you a mark. With you writing that in that manner, I'm going to give you a mark. I'm not sure if it makes sense to you guys what I've just explained there.
So I have a question.
Yes.
So if you leave it as r squared is equal to 4, do you not get like the full marks?
No.
Why do you
No. It's because they want it represented in that format. So it's more like, how am I going to explain this? So it's more like you go to a car dealership and then you find a door there, and then you find the wheel there, you find a steering wheel, let's say there, and then there is a mirror. So can you see? You are giving, let's say, the body of a car is there, the steering wheel is there, what is it? The mirror is there. But I went there to buy a complete or fully assembled car. This is an instruction, Honorable. I'm not sure if you understand what I'm trying to say there, Honorable Member. I'm just saying, let's try to be presentable and provide the final answer in the requested format. The Manandis, do you get my point there, Honorable Member?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, so let's just write it in that format. In that way, we know we don't have to stress about not being sure whether we will get full marks or not. Maybe let me add, you remember my nameless spies, my no-name spies. Let's see. You are correct again, the Makwazis, to say you know that. So you can say x minus 3 squared, you can say y minus that squared. Do we not know what is r from that when we look at it? Because we know r is just from the center to the edge of that circle, or to where from the center to where that R touches the circle. We know it's our R. Is it not 2? We know already that is 2. So that is why you can just say 2 squared. And then this is what you are having. Plus y minus 2 squared is equals to 4. Then you are done. You are still going to get full marks. That is why this question is allocated only 3. But does it make sense to everyone, Bantu Bagiti?
Now, sir.
Is it a no?
Yes.
It's
Yes.
Minentle speaking. Okay, Minentle, where would you like me to quickly re-explain, honorable member? But do you understand the first one?
Yes, I understand it a little, but lately, lost.
Okay, so you still have your A and B as those being the centers. So with you determining R squared, remember R is the radius. So the radius of a circle, it's a line from the center towards there, or from the center towards that circle. So in this case, we know that from that center to there, that distance is 2. From there to the center, that distance is 2. And that distance is R. So that is why we know that the formula says all of that is equals to R squared. So you substitute your R that you already know that is 2, and then you square it. That's how you get 4, of which 4 is your R squared. So it takes you back to that same, that first answer that we did. I'm not sure if it now makes sense, Minentle.
Yes, it does. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so just remember that this is the second way of working it out. So in case if you understand the first method, you can still apply that first method. So this one, you only apply it if you already know what is the length of your radius. So let's see. I think we are now on 6.4. I'm actually trying to move a bit faster because I realize at 8 o'clock I'm going to be having a load shedding. So also considering the fact that we are doing corrections, you have seen this question paper, and I'm sure you guys got a good marks on this question. So let's see. Calculate the length of KL. Before you even go deep, when examiner says the length, they are simply talking about the distance, meaning you might need to remember the distance formula. Before you stress about a lot, just always remember length refers to the distance, and you might need to remember the distance formula. So let's see, where is K, where is L? So there is L and there is K. From what I'm seeing, because the distance lies on that x-axis, I might not need to stress that much. I already know the length from there to there. It is 3 units. How do I know it's 3 units? It's because I know the coordinates of point L. So if I can find the coordinates of that K there, where already at K we know that we are having K with the coordinates, something is 0 there. And obviously it is y because it lies on the x-axis. So if I can know the x value of k, let's say it's -2 as an example. So that means the distance is going to be that 3 plus that 2, which means to walk from k to L, you're going to walk 2 units and 3 units, which is 5 units. So how can we find the x value of k? Anyone who would like to suggest?
So are you not going to use the equation that you were given to get that point?
100%. 100%. We are given an equation of a straight line being y, which is equals to 4 over 3x plus 4 over 3. At that point of k, we already know that y is 0 there. Let's take this 0, substitute it there, and solve for x and see what are we getting when we do that. So let's see. You'll take this to the other side. So it's more like you're having a negative 4 over 3, which is equals to that x. So one would say I'm going to divide both sides by 4 over 3 so that that cancels with that and you remain with just x. And then that means you're still having that which is being divided by that. So what are you getting when you divide those? I think it gives you negative 1. So you can just say
It's negative 1.
Yes, 100%. So that means x is equal to, so that means at k, we are having x being negative 1. Remember, when it comes to the length or distance, the negative sign does not apply in that case. So that means you are having 1 units from the origin and then 3 units from the origin in that direction. So that means the length of LK is equals to 5 units. Does it make sense, honorable members? No, not 5, but 4. You see, I'm still thinking about that 2 that I initially assumed, but it's 4 units. Does it make sense, guys?
Sorry, sir. Can you please repeat that? Like, how is it 4?
How is it 4? But do you understand the coordinates of K, how we got those?
Yes.
Okay, so from the origin to K, if you had to walk from the origin to K, it's 1 unit. Do you agree there?
Yes.
So if you had to walk from the origin to L, how many units?
I think 3.
Yes. So now, if you had to walk from K to L, how many units?
Okay.
4 units.
I get it.
Yes. So
Yeah.
this is where you give yourself a marker. This is where you give yourself a marker. This is where you give yourself a mark. And that's how you score yourself 3 marks on that one. Remember, guys, in case if you are quiet, you've got no question, to me, it's an indication that you understand what we've done. But only if you do not understand, feel free to unmute your mic and rise on a point of order, honorable members. So now, very quickly, let's move on to question 6.5. Question 6.5. So let's see. 6.5, 3 marks. Here seems like we're going to think. Determine the equation of the diameter AB. Equation of the diameter AB in the form of y is equals to mx plus c. Yes. Ungati kusasoshuba la. Anyone would like to give it a try, Bantibagiti, and suggest how to work out this one? It's not that much complicated. You just need to remember something and then you work it out. But anyone who would like to suggest how to work it out?
Sir, I think we can use
Yes.
we already have the gradients because AB is perpendicular to PQ, so the gradient is negative 3 over 4, and then we have a point 3 is to 2.
Yes.
And
Honorable
then
member of the opposition party is correct. 100% correct. So remember, guys, at this point, being point A, that's where you have that line being perpendicular to that line, forming a 90 degree. And we know that when it comes to perpendicular line, the gradient of line 1 multiplied by the gradient of line 2, it's equals to negative. This is a formula. So that means gradient of that line, which is what? From that equation, we know it's 4 over 3. When you multiply it with the gradient of this line, it has to give you negative 1. Why? Because these two lines are perpendicular to each other. So that means you need to calculate the gradient of that line, of which when you say negative 1 divided by that, automatically it gives you negative 3 over 4. So that means you already know that for that line AB being the diameter, you have y, which is equals to negative 3 over 4x plus c. What did I say? When you determine an equation, you need to find the unknown and leave everything in the form of having x and y. So that is why you're going to say this is what you already have. At that point n, having these coordinates. Why point n? Because it lies on that straight line, on that diameter, on that line where you are finding an equation. So that is why you're going to substitute there where you see y and x for you to calculate that value. So can you see you have 2, you transpose. It's more like you're having 2 plus 3 over 4 into 3. It's going to be your C. So what are you getting as your C value so that we can write our final answer?
Over 4.
What is it?
10 over 4.
Let's see. 11, no. 17 over 4. Is it everyone getting 17 over 4? So that means an equation is negative 3 over 4x plus 17 over 4. Yes. Did you guys understand what we have done there, honorable members? Does it make sense to everyone? Because now, with you getting that, I'm telling you, you deserve a mark there. And with you substituting that correctly there, I am encouraged to give you a mark there. And I think for you to substitute correctly there, you deserve a mark. And lastly, for you to find that equation, that's where you give yourself a mark.
Can I ask
Makes sense
something?
to everyone. Yebo, who's speaking now?
But
Is it Bongi?
Can I ask something? But my question is on the gradient, where we got 4 over 3 multiplied by gradient 2, which is equals to negative 1. When we are transposing, does it not become negative? Does the 4 over 3, does it not become negative?
So remember, because between this and that, you don't have a sign of a plus or a minus, so you can't transpose. But you divide.
Okay.
You remember now?
Oh yes, I do. I remember now. I was just, it's okay now. I get it.
100%. So, anyone with a question, honorable members? Yebo. The Manandi.
When you say that M2 is equal to minus 3 over 4, mean that's the gradient of AB?
100%. So that means when you take the gradient of that line, so it's actually the gradient of PQ. When you multiply it with the gradient of AB, it has to give you negative 1. Why? Because these two lines are perpendicular to each other. It is a formula, this thing, for lines which are perpendicular. So if you have lines which are perpendicular, that means the gradient of this line and the gradient of that line, when you multiply them together, they will give you -1. But if you have parallel lines, gradient of this line is equals to gradient of this second line. So that's what you always need to remember under analytical geometry. And most importantly, for those of you guys who discovered my lessons recently, all of this information that the honorable members are applying, it was initially explained on the lesson where we did introduction. So that's where I made you guys aware of everything that you need to know as far as analytical geometry is concerned. So everything that we say, it's not like it comes from heaven. We did study all of that. Now we know. So we are at a stage where we just apply what we know based on the manner in which questions are asked. So if it feels like you are just wondering, how did they know? Where is that formula coming from? It's because all it was explained already. So what I'm doing now is just to show you how you apply all that was explained to you. So in case if you missed that lesson, that's why you need to catch up because it was recorded. Make sense, honorable members?
Yes.
Show me the chumis. Are you not watching Skim Sam or Gomorrah that side? I don't trust you, honorable member. I see you there.
No, sir.
Switching to
I'm just
FABC2.
watching.
But what is the remote doing next to you, honorable member?
I don't have a remote next to me, sir.
Hey, them are chumis. You.
No, sir. I'm just observing what's happening. Because I couldn't get them right.
But do you understand up to this point?
Yes, sir.
You notice your mistakes, ne?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's see. Show that the coordinates of A are 7/5 and 16/5. Sibonise ukuthi ama-coordinates where A is those. Sizozibonisa kanjani ibandla lakaNkulunkulu? Jackie, you are quiet, honorable member. Are you sure we are not losing you there?
Yes, I'm okay, sir.
Okay. The coordinates of A, anyone who would like to suggest, remember guys, now that we are doing the corrections, it doesn't mean if you made mistakes and you now realize how to work out these other questions, then you should keep quiet. If you notice how to now work it out, you can just suggest how to work it out. So anyone who would like to suggest, how are we going to show that one?
Sir, aren't you gonna use the equation again since the point A is it's part of the tangent.
But what was that question again? I don't understand why this question again, honorable member. I mean this equation. I just remember there is that. But why, Kabelo? Why? Was it over 3 there? Was it 3 or 4? I think it was 3. Yeah, I think
Sir,
that was.
aren't we going to equate both equations since A is point of intersection?
100%. 100%. I know very well that this is what Kabelo was saying, but Kabza, I wanted you to mention that at that point, in addition to what you have said, because you are correct with what you said, I also wanted you to mention that this is the point of intersection so that honorable members of the opposition party can fully understand. So that means you are going to take that equation and equate them and then start solving. So that means you're going to say 4 over 3x plus 4 over 3, which is that one. So it's more like you're going to say y of PQ. You equate it to y of AB. Why do you equate them? Because at that point, this line is equals to that line, because this is the point where they intersect, where they touch. So that means it's equals to that one being negative 3 over 4x
So
plus 17 over 3. Yebo.
is it not 17 over 4?
Yes, I wasn't sure of that one, honorable members. I think I did needed clarity on that one, but thanks very much for confirming. So that means it's 17 over 4 there. Yes, 17 over 4. So let's see. Remember, this is a linear equation. So that means you want to have letters on one side, numbers on one side. That's why I'm going to take this to the other side and have that. So on this side, I'm having 17 over 4 already. You minus that. Remember, guys, in grade 12, you are not at a stage where examiner thinks you are not able to solve. Solving, it's not an issue. The issue is you applying what you understand. So in case if it feels like it's tricky to solve or work out that, just know that you need to visit my grade 10 lessons and learn how to work out different types of equations. So let's see, that plus that. What is that? You've got 4 over 3 of mathematics. You plus it with 3 over 4 of mathematics. I'm getting 25 out of 12x, which is, what are those? 17 over 4 minus 4 over 3. I'm getting 35 over 12. So I can just divide by that on both sides. Why would I do that? It's because I want that to cancel with that. So what is this? Can just easily punch it, most. Let's see. Is 35 over 12 close at the bottom? You've got 25 over 8 over 8. No. What's happening to this calculator, Bantu Bakit? 35 over 12. Go to the bottom, and then I've got 25 over 12. On the side, close, is equal. I'm getting 7 over. Oh, yes. Yes. Can you see? I'm not forcing things, Bantu Bakiti. Through calculations, as a mathematician, you need to show that the x value is that. So now you can take that and substitute it on one of those equations. Yes, one of those. So lastly, you are therefore going to say y is equals to, let's choose the simple equation, maybe that one which doesn't have negatives. So that means you're going to say that over that. Obviously, this is 7 over that. What is that? This is 4 over 3. You punch all of this. Let's see what is it that we get. 4 over 3, 7 over 5, close, plus 4 over 3. 16 over 5. 16. Yes, can you see? 16 over 5. I'm not forcing things. Here. And I'm telling you, the old Muleboche was just going to say how. If they say we must show that the coordinates of A is that, they already gave us most. The old Muleboche was going to say, you gave us already most. So I'm showing you. Examiner, can you see? Muleboche, have you changed now? Are you born again, honorable member? Seems like Muleboche is gone. But let's see. Does it make sense to everyone what we have done there?
Yes, sir.
How many marks? 3 marks. So that means for you to equate those, we can just give you a mark there. Then maybe for you to get that x value, we can just give you a mark, and then the y value, maybe just give you a mark there. So that's how you score yourself 3 marks for that question. Make sense to everyone, or is there anyone who's got a question?
So I'm just confused with why we had to equate them. How do you know when to equate anything?
So it's because at that point A, that's where line AB touch with line PQ. This is what we call the point of intersection. I'm not sure if you remember, honorable member. So, for example, that's where f of x is equals to g of x. Then you can equate the two equations. Does it make sense, the Manandis?
Yes, thanks.
Another question before we move on to the next question. Mzozozo, Lapo Eastern Cape, honorable member, are we doing okay that side?
Okay, sir.
So now, let's see. Now we can remove all of that. So just give yourself 3 marks for that question. So 6.7 is what we'll be doing. Calculate the length of KA. I think it's going to be easy because we know that when they talk about the length, they're actually talking about the distance, and we know the formula. It says x2, you minus x1, you close, you squared, you plus y2 minus y1. So it's just a matter of you substituting. It's just a matter of you substitute. Let's see. Those a value there, maybe let me rewrite the a value there. The coordinates is 7/5. It's 16/5. So it's more like examiner wants you to substitute incorrectly. Let's see. We can maybe say x2 is -1 from k minus x1 from a being that. You close, you square it. Remember that. Y, obviously, it's 0 there for k minus there, y, it's 16/5. You close, you square it. Then you just punch all of this. What is the distance? What are you guys getting there?
Oh, sir.
7/5. Let's see. Squared plus into 0 minus 16 at the bottom. We've got 5. You close, you squared. I'm getting 4. Is it everyone who's getting 4 units? Is it everyone who's getting 4 units, honorable members?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is where you get lucky to be given an equation of that. I mean, a mark on that equation, mark on substitution, and then mark for your final answer. So that's how you score yourself 3 marks for that question. So I think that was a straightforward question. So very quickly, 6.8. They are asking, why is KLNA a kite? Why is KLNA a kite? why is it a kite, honorable members? Anyone who can explain based on that observation, why is that a kite?
Each pair of adjacent sides equal in length.
100%. 100%. Obviously, okay, let's look at what examiner is talking about. Which points? They are talking about K. Where is K? There is K. Where is L? There is L. Where is N? There is N. There is A. So can you guys see? They are actually talking about that. So this is equals to that. So it's more like a NA is equals to NL. How do I know? Radi. These things are Radi Bantu Bagiti. Radi are equal. Two radius are equal. This is a radius, this is a radius. Those are equal. And also, from that point of the tangent, we also have another point of the tangent. And both of these, can you see, they go to that same point there. That is why one can say this also is equals to that. So it's more like I'm saying KL from there to there. It is also equals to KA. And sides are equal. So that means if you do not know from grade 10 the characteristics or the properties of a kite, you won't be able to answer this question. Load shedding on my side, just in case if I start breaking or there's poor network, just be aware of that. Maybe let me give the code before I start breaking. Let's say the code for today, you are just going to comment with the question number where it feels like you learned something new, or where it feels like you were made aware of something, or where you felt like from that specific question I've actually benefited somehow. So for example, if you did not understand 6.8 and now you understand it, you'll just comment in the end of the lesson 6.8. If there are more questions that you've also gained from, don't worry about those. Just comment on that one question. Otherwise, if on none, just choose any question and comment. I'm just saying, in case if you got 100% and you knew everything, don't just not comment. You can just choose any question and comment. So that's how you score yourself 2 marks. For you to say that, for you to say that, those are reasons, honorable members, and give yourself a mark for that. I think we are now ready to move on to that 6.9. But is there anyone who's got a question? Is there anyone who's got a question, guys?
No question.
I don't think so. I think it was a straightforward question, but here is a nice question. 6.9. They are saying, show that in triangle ABK, angle B, it is the one which is equals to 45. Anyone who would like to suggest how can we work out this question? In triangle ABK, are you still thinking or no idea? I'm about to explain it very quickly. Hamisa, can I explain it, honorable member?
Yes, you may.
Okay, so remember, guys, every time when examiner mentions a triangle, before you can do anything, ask yourself this question. What type of a triangle is it? Is it just a triangle, which could be a scalene or an isosceles? Or is it a right-angled triangle? What makes it to be a right-angled triangle? That's if one of the angles is 90 degrees. But if it's just a triangle and none of the interior angles is a 90 degree, then you know it's not a right. So now that we know it's a right-angled triangle, how do we know? We have been told that this line is perpendicular to that, meaning they form 90-degree angle there. So the triangle AKB or ABK, it's that one from A to B to K. So can you see? You have that. So that means we are actually dealing with a right-angled triangle. I've been preaching since past years to say when you have a right-angled triangle, it means you can use the trig ratios being sine, cos, tan. If you fail, you can still use theorem of Pythagoras. So now here comes the question. Since this is that right-angled triangle, that seems like I'm starting to break. Do I know the distance from there to there? I think we calculated it and we got it to be 4. Here comes the question. Do I know the distance from A to B? I think we do, because that is radi, which is r squared, or which is that radius plus that radius, and that is 4. So can you guys see? I have opposite and I also have a opposite. No, I have a that side. I also have that side, which is adjacent and opposite, because this is the angle that I'm trying to calculate. So that is why I'm going to use a tan of angle A. It's is it angle A that they want us to show? Not angle A, but angle B. Oh, yes, angle B. So now, which trig ratio will be suitable for us to show that angle B? Let's see. We have adjacent and we have opposite. Which trig ratio? I think it's going to be sine. Will it not be sine? No. Not sine, but I think it's what? It's tan. Yes, it's tan, because this is adjacent and this is opposite. Nothing to do with a hypotenuse. Yes. So that is why you're going to say tan of angle, it's equals to opposite over adjacent. What is opposite? Opposite is 4. What is adjacent? Adjacent is 4. So it's more like you are having second function of 4 over 4. What is second function of 4? I think this is 1. So it's more like a second function of 1. What is that? Is it not 45? Does it give 45, or is it a different angle? Hey, let's see. Maybe I got hammered there. Let's see. Second function of tan 1. Yes, it's 45. It's 45, guys. Guys, did you understand
45.
what I've done there? Does it make
Yes,
sense
sir.
to everyone? 100%.
Yes.
So, I'm telling you guys, I am going to give you a mark there. This was actually allocated 3 marks. So I'm also going to give you a mark there and a mark there. So because there are multiple ways to work out this problem, as long as you followed a correct procedure, ended up getting 45 degrees, give yourself a full marks there. In case if you did it differently, but you got that same answer there. So last question, if the given circle is reflected about the x-axis, give the coordinates of the center of the new circle. So I think this is what I just need to quickly explain. You say, when they say something reflects about the x-axis, so it's more like you pendula it from that quadrant, you pendula it about the x-axis, and then it is now there. So that means that point there, you pendula it about that, and then it's going to be this side. So now, what will be the new center? I think the x does not change because it is still along that same line. But what changes, it's actually the y value. Can you see? It's now on the negative y values. So that means that circle now, it is there. But if it is being pendulated about the y-axis, so it's more like you pendulate from there and then to there. So that means it was going to then have that there, and then it does that circle there. And then what changes? Obviously, this does not change. It's still that. So that is why you would say your new n. Let's do that. Your new n, x is the one that changes because it's on the negative side, but then that y, it is still the same. So that's how you visualize something reflecting. I'm not sure, does it make sense to everyone? So that means your answer 6.10, you say n with a prime to show it is reflected. Then this is the new point. And for that, you give yourself just 1 mark. Does it make sense, honorable members? I think I'm now about to run away. Did that make sense to everyone?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sibusiso Maham. Charlotte, I see you are here. I couldn't hear you, honorable member. Charlotte, did you get all that was explained, honorable member? Offense. The Makwazis.
Yes,
I
sir.
see Busisi is on the line. Leslie, are you okay there?
Yes, sir.
Warrior Princess. So, Mzozozo, do you allow me to sign out? I think honorable members understood what was explained in today's lesson. I'm just not sure if I can. I see Penuel Marshalel. Penuel, are you
Hello,
okay
sir.
that side, honorable member? Does it make sense?
Yeah, I think I've got a little bit problem with the network. The last one, I got a loss on the last one.
Okay, so very quickly,
6.10.
let me explain the last one, and then from there, I sign out. So with regards to the last one, if you have a point there, let's say this point is 2 and 2, and they say this point, it doesn't matter whether around that point you have a circle or not, but they are talking about that center. If they say it's being reflected about, you ask yourself, about what? Is it about the x-axis or the y-axis? So if it's about the x-axis, it's more like you pendula that. It's like you page it or you pendula it about that x-axis. So that means from the x-axis to that point, you now pendula it, and then it's going to be somewhere here, but still along that line. So that means the new n, it's going to now be, can you see, it's still along that positive x value. But what changes now? is the y value because you see it's on the negative side. So it's just a matter of changing a sign. And then if they said about the y-axis, it's more like you take that point, you pendular it about it's going to be somewhere there, still along that same line, but in this quadrant. So that means you still have that same y, but what changes now is the x value, which becomes that. So just to summarize that, it's more like if you have x and y, and they say it reflects, if it's about x axis, then it is your y value that changes a sign. But now, if you are still having whatever x and y value, and they say now it reflects about the y axis, it is the x that changes a sign, and then that remains as that. Does it make sense now, honorable members?
It does. It does, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay, 100%. Ladies and gentlemen, I think Mzozo said I can run away. Guys. I will see you tomorrow on our extra weekend lessons. So, from me, my name is Desmond. Thanks very much for joining, and I'm out.